Yo.
What up? What up?
Ooh, let's go. Your boy's running on hopes and dreams, damn it.
Just sleep in tomorrow, bro. Don't worry, yeah. Your work won't mind.
They shouldn't.
You seen that shit on I think it was on IG, it's probably on fucking TikTok. That guy like playing like in like a little, I don't know, he has like a little organ or some shit. And he's in the street and he's singing. But and I can't remember the fucking song, so I'm not gonna try to sing it. But basically what he's saying is like I'm late for work. Have you not seen this?
No.
He's like, I'm late for work, but like fuck it, I'm late for work, and it doesn't really matter. I'm late for work, and people in the street listening to him do this song, and they're like bobbing their heads and shit. But his whole thing is like,
it's my spirit animal.
His whole thing is like, yeah, like fuck it, like I'm late for work. What the fuck you want to do?
I'm taking the Cat Williams approach. Like, listen, they know I'm gonna be there. I know I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna do a good job.
Yep, right.
I'm taking the Cat Williams.
That's right. Yo, welcome back, everybody, to the Carpet Footprint Podcast. He is Juan, and I'm Sean, and every week we get together, have a few drinks, talk about things going on in the world, try to focus on things making an impact, whether they be good, bad, or otherwise. Hit them with a drink of the day.
Ooh, this week, man, we got I'm pretty sure we've done a variation of this in the past, but we got a maple smash. Really simple drink, but really delicious. And then a bourbon we were using for the first time. So maple smash in a shaker. We poured in some mint, which most of this mint is from a plant from here. So
oh yeah,
let's go. Trying to we got the rosemary.
Garden de Lorenzo.
We're trying to add to it. Okay. So we have the mint with a lemon wedge and the maple syrup, about half an ounce of maple syrup. So you muddle that in the shaker. Add in ice, add in 2 ounces of bourbon. This week, we're throwing down for the first time this Wolcott bottled and bond bourbon. It really good. We actually drank that straight up to try it, and it was actually phenomenal. So I'm going to have to add that to the rotation. So throw that in the shaker, shake it up real nice, put it in a rocks glass with crushed ice.
That shit matters.
Yeah, the crushed ice made a big difference, man, because it feels like very mint julepy. And then, which was sort of the vibe I was trying to go for in there, like a refreshing drink, especially because bourbon is hard to make it refreshing. And then a mint for garnish, man. You guys know what to do. Clap the mint and throw it on there. And yeah, I like this, man. It's simple. Good, there's a couple ingredients and that's it. 3 ingredients.
Is the whole thing, like the whole smash name, is that synonymous with bourbon?
That's a great question. I think it is. Yeah, I'm trying to think. No, because there's gin smashes or whatever that we do.
Is there?
Yeah.
All right, so you got to do a maple bourbon smash, though.
Yeah, you're right. So maple bourbon smash. You're right. We'll probably have to leave it like that, a maple bourbon smash, just to avoid confusion. We should just start naming shit like something that has nothing to do with it. Yep. Name them after the episode. Like just something super random.
Or something with this is like this has syrup and lemon in it. Some kind of like fucking remedy shit.
That's true, because last time we
did the remedy already with the ginger.
Yeah, so we gotta come up with something. But yeah, maybe we should name the drinks after like stuff, or instead of like the actual literal name of the.
We'll work on that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
All right, man. What you got for your carbon footprint?
Speaking of delicious alcohol, I'm gonna get my carbon footprint this week to soon to be degenerate country. Saudi Arabia.
They're not already?
They're not already. Well, I guess they are, but it's not from alcoholism. The Saudi Arabia is lifting their drinking ban for the first time in 72 years.
Wow.
You're allowed to, they have a sort of alcohol prohibition in most of the Middle East, but a lot of the Muslim countries. And Saudi Arabia is lifting it for the first time in 72 years, and they're doing it. It's a very specific liquor store, but you can only do it if you're a non-Muslim, essentially diplomat. It's like for, I guess, high-profile tourists or people from outside the country are allowed to go into this liquor store, bar, or whatever it is. So locals aren't allowed to do it because presumably you're a Muslim local. And
what is the thing with it? Does Muslims do they? Is it just like you're putting something impure into your body?
It's a great question. I think so. I don't know. Isn't that
I
the
mean, it
premise
makes sense,
behind all of it?
right?
You
It
go
makes
to hell?
sense,
I don't know,
right?
man. I don't really know. Yeah, I guess impure or like. But isn't alcohol from Earth? I don't know. Could you have alcohol if it wasn't?
I mean, alcohol is
It
essentially
goes through a certain process.
essentially is poison.
Sure, but
Yeah, it's just fun.
yeah.
Like if you take it in, don't take it in too high doses. Like
But
it's fun.
I would argue if your God didn't want us to have alcohol, he wouldn't have given us corn and wheat and anything else we make.
I don't know the recipe.
I'm just saying.
Shout out to Cat
So
Williams.
shout out to that. But yeah, man. But so it's funny because we talked about this over the summer about the Qatar on where the World Cup was held. And they had
Yes.
initially said that they were going to allow alcohol. And
Well,
then at
wasn't
the last minute they pulled
Budweiser
it.
was like the fucking
Major sponsor, and then they
Yes.
couldn't serve Budweiser.
yes.
So it was really fucking weird. But I suspect that a lot of these countries are going to have to start. They don't have to, I guess, but they're going to start doing some of this because they're trying to change their perception in the West, and then they're trying to
Yep.
attract,
Money.
tourists and money and
Yeah.
everything else. Because I think they want to generate revenue now, obviously outside of oil, and they want to change their perception, which is, obviously depending on the part of the world, it's very different, I think, from how they want to be perceived. And so
Yeah.
they want to be looked at as this progressive and, hey, look, we're moving forward.
Do they want to be a destination?
Yeah, so I think you allow liquor now. Next thing you know, there's going to be gay brothels. It's all coming around. They're on the up.
Things are looking up in that part of the world.
Next thing you know, women can drive. We'll be holding doors for them over there and everything.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
They'll be allowed to leave the house without a turban or not. What the fuck it's called? Not turban. The ninja costume. What do you call that shit?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm trying to help you, but I can't.
Whatever. You know what I mean?
No,
They're
but
gonna be very progressive soon.
dude. So like, I mean, they have obviously a ton of money over there. They have the means to build stadiums in record time.
Oh yeah, when you use immigrants. Yo, you know what's wild?
You could have sent all the migrants from over here over there to build the fucking
But you
stadium.
go outside of there, it's like who's poorer than the people from the hillside in Saudi Arabia? But I guess, dude, we must not know shit about that country, right? Because I'm thinking like, where are you importing people from that you couldn't find there, like to do this type of labor? But it turns out Mexicans are really high valued anywhere.
Those fuckers work, man.
Bro. Oh man, most efficient people in the world. They gotta be, bro.
All right, man. Yo, my compliment is going out to our boy that we have a bit of a love affair with, Mr. Elon Musk.
Let's go, Elon.
And his one of his companies, Neuralink. If you guys have listened to us in the past, we talked about Neuralink. Neuralink is a company. It's one of Elon Musk's company. And I don't have their mission statement in front of me, but essentially they're looking at a device that you would place into the brain to help things like people that have like quadriplegia and ALS. And then I think further down the line, it's looking at, looking at like a sort of further, what word am I looking for? I'm lost here. It's like further uses for this thing, for this implant, where you could even download information into your brain.
Yeah,
like,
it's
almost
just
like make you like a fucking superhuman, right?
Well, you'll be a computer. You'll be able to
Yeah.
download software and give you upgrades and all that stuff. Frankly, some of us need it. But
So the reason why I'm giving them compliment is because they actually implanted a device, their first device, into a human. Previous trials were on a pig, and it worked. But they placed it into a human. They have not disclosed who the human is or what the human's ailment is at this time. However, it is they are targeting people with quadriplegia or ALS. So I'm assuming this person has one of those. Did you see something that I didn't see?
or just slow. Nah, I just had a suspicion. I know who it was. Isn't it Joe Biden? I thought
You ain't right, bro.
that motherfucker been looking a little more alert lately.
We did talk about that though.
He been looking a little more awake lately. I'm like, he's either on, Addy or a Neuralink.
This is called Prime.
It's called Prime.
It's actually called Prime. It's a precise, robotically implanted brain-computer interface.
Yo, Logan Paul's got to be loving this shit, bro. Oh my god.
But dude, so when I first had read about this, I think that we discussed this. Shit. I know they got the FDA approval for a trial like in May of 2023. Mm-hmm. But I think that we thought, or at least from what I've read, that we thought it was going to sort of help people to move. If you had,
I thought it was going to be like you're going to walk again, you're going to be able to send those signals to the
yes.
And maybe, is that not the case?
And it's not the case in this case.
Okay, so what can this guy? So this guy's a paraplegic. This
is going to enable this person to control like a phone or a computer through, or some type of device like that by just thinking. So, essentially, like Stephen Hawking's on steroids.
Yo.
And so, but using the phone, so like using these devices. You can use your devices, and obviously your device has different apps installed on it. It could be things to unlock your fucking door. It could be setting an alarm in your house. It could be surfing social media. It could be so they're talking about like it's connecting you with like your loved ones. You can browse the web. You can play games. You can launch apps. You can do shit on the app. So it kind of allows you to do shit, but using either the phone or the computer.
So I guess this is the first iteration of
that's what I think, man.
Which for us, it sounds like not much, but I'm sure maybe for people.
No, dude, no, bro, that's a lot. Now, as I'm reading through this, I'm going, all right. So if you're able to use a computer, and the other piece of this that's supposed to be really good is that it's the speed. Right, because you don't have to, like, while you and I would grab the phone and you have to turn it on and launch the app and then do whatever you have to do in there. To be able to do that with your thoughts, the speed of it it's a lot faster,
I don't want to
right?
be able to put my thoughts out in speech, bro.
But it's not speech. Like so like, okay, for instance, I can set my alarm in my house via an app,
right?
But I have to unlock my phone, find the app, launch the app, and then click something, go to the section where I set it and then set it.
But they'll be able to think it.
They'll be able to think that.
But how do you confirm that? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's shit we think about all the time, even if we can't. Even if we don't want to, we can't help it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about you, but I be thinking of some twisted shit. So then, like, how do you, I guess, keep those thoughts from making it out onto whatever it is you're supposed to make it out to? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I could see where you're going with that, and that's kind of what I was thinking. Where, what if? And I'm not. See, you're thinking about it like, hey, like I'm thinking about this crazy shit, and then my phone's gonna fucking go insane, or my computer's gonna go insane, or it's gonna have, I'm gonna be launching fucking websites that I don't really want to, and
Pornhub.
So, dude, what I was thinking was like, if you're able to do that on your phone or a computer, like, how many quadriplegics are really fucked up in the head? Oh, and awesome. Enjoy, fucking, I don't know, child porn or something like that.
Just some weird shit, bro.
So then what is the punishment? So like, if you get caught, right, doing some shit like that, you can't move. What's the punishment? Do they like electrify the fucking chip in your head?
Nah, we gotta take your sight.
So you can't do shit.
You can't do. Good luck moving. No legs and eyes. Bro, I'm just waiting for the first argument between a couple that they're both on this, like, you know how like the Hawking had to talk to the computer? Can you imagine having to argue back and forth through that? And you got to sit there and stare at somebody and wait for the thoughts to come out on fucking...
But it will be quick.
Yeah, but it's not that quick. Like, you ever see how Stephen Hawking's I sit there and he's just like, thinking.
But how did he do it? Was it through thought, or I guess
he might be using an elbow or some shit or whatever, his chin or whatever the fuck.
No,
I don't know.
He had to be.
Bro, that guy looked like a beanbag chair. I don't know, bro. He just sitting there, just slouched like this.
What did fucking Andrew Schultz call him?
Yeah, a puddle. Bro, you imagine fucking arguing and shit. I'm imagining their arguments are just like the rest of ours. And this bitch is like, "Do you like her because she has legs?" That work. He's just sitting there like, pause, and it's like, yeah.
Oh fuck, man. Yeah,
It's
dude.
cool as fuck though, man.
I think it's I think it's cool, but like anything else, something that can be used for good could also be used to do bad shit.
We'll fuck it up,
But
somehow.
yeah, I mean, whatever, man.
I mean, I just did.
Fucking yeah, you sure did. But fucking hey, man, you know what, man? A car can be used to take you from point A to point B. It could also be used to mow down 20 people.
Yeah, don't give people ideas. Somebody's in their car right now going, he's right. Listen. I did have a shitty day at work today. Me take some people with me. Oh, fuck, man. Yo, shout out to them. Elon's been wilding, and he's been on the news more lately for dumb shit. So it's cool to see, like obviously he still has companies that are doing amazing shit. So
yeah, dude. I mean, he's got that. He's got the other one, the boring company, right?
Yeah,
drilling holes in the ground or drilling tunnels in the ground, I should say.
Yeah, and even
to relieve traffic.
I don't know, irrespective of how you feel about SpaceX is awesome, but even I don't know how you feel about electric cars, but like no matter how you feel about that, Tesla is the first sort of new automobile company in a long time to sort of break through, right? We've had this, the automobile industry is a very much like a good old boys club of the people who've been around for a very long time, and it's very hard to penetrate that market and for Tesla to do what it did. As, obviously being the first sort of mass manufactured electric car, but just getting any type of market share from GM and Ford and Chevy and I mean same thing as GM, but like those guys, that's no easy feat, man. So,
and then plus he sort of forced all of their hands to go the electric,
which I think. I don't know. I've always had this theory that that's Elon's long game is eventually he'll stop making cars and then just make the technology that goes into cars, whether that's batteries or the engines or whatever. Yeah. Like his goal was like, I'll get the rest of these guys to do that. And then I'll take a step back and then just offer the batteries and the motors or whatever,
Yeah.
And maybe that is the long-term plan for Tesla.
Who knows, man? Yeah. Who knows? So shout out to you to Neuralink, the people.
That's awesome, man. I'd be curious to see. We got to keep tabs on that, man. I'd be curious to see what the evolution of that is, and then what the next uses are.
The only thing I saw was that the operation went. Well, the operation was successful, and the guy or girl again. I don't know who it is. Was recovering, and that they could already see.
It's a guy, bro.
And it absolutely is a fucking guy.
Yeah, we're the only ones willing to take that kind of chance. We're not stupid enough to do that. It's a microchip for your brain.
But I'm in.
I already can't walk. To be honest with you, though, if I was in a wheelchair, there's probably nothing I wouldn't agree to.
Yeah, you're probably right.
What the fuck are you gonna? You gonna fuck me up worse?
Yeah. What am I gonna do? Not walk?
What am I gonna do? Yeah.
Oops, I'm already there.
I used to be able to at least feel my toes. I couldn't move them, but I could feel that they were there.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that this thing will eventually, because I believe and let me look at this really quick. So I know they were targeting people ages 22 and above who are living with quadriplegia or ALS. Where is it? Okay, so a robot. So it's not even a human. It's a robot that surgically implants this thing into the part of the brain that's related to movement.
That's insane.
So, and I think this is what we got before that this is gonna kind of help them to actually start to move their limbs. Mm-hmm. But then again, Elon went on to say recently, once this thing was done, that this iteration was gonna be just to control computer phone with their thoughts.
Yeah.
So let's see where it goes from here.
That's wild, man. That's pretty fucking wild. Good for them, man. That shit is nuts, dude. I hope he doesn't have to implant this thing to get women to agree on the latest trend for men's health. Did you see the article about the nights a week that men need to be able to sustain a long, healthy life?
No.
So this article
is it masturbation?
No, not at all. I know that's usually my go-to. but I'm trying to evolve as a person. And so there's a study that says that men need at least 2 nights a week to hang out. Now, nobody knows who did the study. It was probably a bunch of men. But it's essentially saying that men need 2 nights a week to, like, basically have a boys' night to live a long, healthy life. And I guess prosper, and it's good for their mental health.
So basically what you're saying is we got to do 2 pods a week.
Yeah, obviously.
Let me go home and share that news and see how that flies over.
Yeah, if she cares at all about your health. Matter of fact, I'd be mad if I were you going into the conversation that it wasn't her idea. That's how I think you should approach it.
Dude, not for nothing, man. This, and you and I talked about this before. Coming here and getting together and kind of doing this and what we do, like, you know, like our sort of pregame where we're just kind of catching up from the week and, you know, making the drink and tweaking it and just kind of you know, possibly like venting about shit that happened that week or whatever, man. That shit matters, dude.
Bro, it's funny. I was telling you before, I've had like a weird week, and no matter how exhausting or whatever my week are, I'm like, nah, I gotta do the pod. Like, because again, this is like my weekly
it's like therapy
session or the hangout. It's just like, yeah, even if sometimes like we're like, man, our energy was whatever low on the pod or however we feel, because we never give ourselves credit for anything on it. But it's like, oh, the pre and just the hang of it, always worthwhile. You know what I mean? Like, and then I always feel better. I felt better before we started. I was like, that may have been the bourbon talking, but still. I'm like, no, I drank on Saturday.
Dude, there is some, and again, like I think that, you know, even those of us that have spouses, right? Like you can vent to your spouse about certain things, but there's something about getting together with the fellas and talking that shit and letting loose on things that maybe you can't say at home or things that you can't say to really to anybody else.
Yeah, and I think women need that too. I think it's just that they're more. I think women do that more. You know, like they're not afraid to share things with like their girlfriends and have like girls' nights and, you know, whatever, and vent and probably talk about more personal shit. Where I think as guys we don't tend to as much. For whatever reasons, right? Some of those are outside of our control. I think some of us are us guys assuming that we're making someone happy by not going out. You know, if that makes sense, or by not sort of taking time for yourself. But at the end of the day, it's like everybody at home suffers if you don't do that. Yeah, like it's weird. I don't know, man. So I think the study, it's funny. I keep seeing places that are like, no, it's 3 nights. Like, now guys are just fucking with it. Honestly, I think it's just 1. You're fine if you do at least 1, but, you know, who's going to argue for it's 2?
And I would argue that if you have 1, like, so we have ours, like ours is scheduled.
Yeah.
It's fucking like, it's like hell or high water. It's on, you know, it's every Wednesday night. Like that's just what it is, and I think over the years we've changed it from like Tuesday. Mm-hmm. It's probably ranged between Tuesday and Thursday.
Yeah. Usually it's between there, yeah.
But we've been very consistent,
pretty much.
And then we've skipped maybe a handful of days over the last are we almost at 4 years, bro?
Yeah, no, this will be 4 years coming up.
Like coming up, it'll be our it'll sort of complete our 4th year.
Yep. Yeah. 4 years and 3 months.
I think that's the shit that matters, man. Is that it's the consistency. It's like make sure that you do it, you know, consistently.
Yeah, dude. No matter what is happening, no matter how long or how tired, I'm always like, man, I can't wait to do the pod. And it'll be either just to tell you something wild, to talk shit on here, to just have a drink and talk, like and not worry about anything else, like outside of this, like. For a couple hours, like I'm like, I usually can't wait. I don't care what's going on. And so, you know, you see the study and I'm like, it's easy to make jokes, but I'm like, I could definitely see that. And I think this just goes across the board. I don't think this is just guys. I think it's just people in general. You need
community, bro.
Yeah, man. You need that tribe or whatever. Yep. And yeah, for sure. I think this is why we gravitate towards, you know, whatever, the tribes and whether that's politics or religion or, you know, like-minded people in terms of like maybe a hobby or whatever that is. It's your thing. I think there's something to be said for that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And this weekend was a good weekend for get-togethers, man, because NFL was on Sunday. Championship games, 49ers and Lions, Chiefs versus Ravens. Super Bowl is set up. 49ers versus the Chiefs. Replay of what, 2019? I want to say, right? Yeah.
Mahomes' first Super Bowl, right, was against the Niners.
Was it? Was that his
Super
first?
Bowl,
you might be right, bro.
think so. I feel like that's it.
Because he would have joined in 2018.
Lost to Brady. Yeah. Beat somebody.
He beat Philly.
Beat Philly. Oh, that's right. That's right. He lost to Brady. So he's lost 2 Super Bowls? Or lost? No, he's lost one.
No, he lost 1.
So this is his 4th Super Bowl appearance?
4th Super Bowl appearance in 6 years.
I think we might have to start talking soon about Patrick Mahomes being greatest of all time.
Okay. Dude. And I hear this shit from like the sports.
Yeah, we're
like
very
the sports radio.
The recency bias is real. Yeah,
dude, what's more recent than Tom Brady? And then how do you put anybody above that guy?
I don't disagree, but I think what's going to happen here is the same argument we have with Jordan and LeBron and like the Wilt discussion. Whereas, are we saying Tom Brady because he's got the 6 rings?
Yeah,
7 rings, which is what we do with Jordan, right? But I think when we're talking about as an individual skill player, like Brady has plenty of rings that he didn't win. He was on a team that won them, right? Like I get that he won them no matter what.
But clearly he was a big reason of why they won, right?
But think about the game.
So it wasn't like and just let me finish this, right? It wasn't like Trent Dilfer on the Ravens, who was a guy who sort of managed the game and really didn't really throw picks, but if he needed to win the game, maybe he's not the guy you want in there to win the game. Tom Brady won games.
No, and I don't.
You know what I mean?
And I don't think this is to take away from Tom Brady. I think, in my view, Tom Brady is the GOAT. Like that's who I would say today. But I think Patrick Mahomes has entered that conversation the same way that like Steph Curry has started to enter the conversation of like we don't give Steph Curry like greatest of all time combo. We leave LeBron in there, and I'm guilty of this, right? Where I didn't consider Steph because of his size and because I didn't think he could dominate and carry a team on his own. And I still don't think he can carry a team on his own the way LeBron can, but it's hard to ignore the resume. So
his resume is great,
it's fantastic.
But he has a good team as well, right?
Absolutely.
He's always had a good team. He's always had a good coach. I would have loved to see, could he do that? Could he reach those feats if he's changing teams?
No.
Like LeBron?
No.
Are you putting Steph on the Atlanta Hawks and then making them title contenders?
No, I don't think you are. But I think you can do that with Patrick Mahomes. And so I think what I'm thinking now is like, yes, Tom Brady is the GOAT. But if you look at what Patrick Mahomes has done, does Patrick Mahomes need to get 7 to be in the conversation? I don't think so. I think Patrick Mahomes could get 3 or 4. And still, because you know what he reminds me of, man? He reminds me of Derek Jeter, which, like, Patrick Mahomes is phenomenal in the regular season. Yeah. And he had a very off regular season this year.
Yep.
And then in these playoff games, he's been lights
when
out
when he needs
elite competition, when he needs to be, where it's like you're not going to see it in the stats. And his stats have been through the roof, too. But bro, even the play where he got the sack this week, where he keeps like a fucking he gets up on his wrist and holds himself up and then does the spin move and then somehow gets out and makes that pass to Kelsey. It's like there's something like a different gear, and all the greats have this. They just unlock this little extra thing that you're just like, oh wow, how are you better than I thought you were when it matters most, which is where most players choke, right? Like Alex Rodriguez. Fantastic player, one of the greatest hitters of all time and all that. It won't matter because he choked a lot in the playoffs when it mattered.
Right.
Derek Jeter, not the greatest, obviously solid hitter, whatever. But Derek Jeter, bases loaded, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, and it was the World Series on the line. There aren't many players that you'd pick over Derek Jeter to be the one at bat, and you need, just a hit.
You need a hit.
It doesn't need to be a grand slam.
Right, correct,
you need a hit.
Correct.
And Patrick Mahomes, man. This Chiefs team did not look like the Chiefs team we've seen, and he's taken out the Bills, and he's taken out the number 1 seed in the Ravens, and it looked easy.
Yeah.
You know, like the Ravens.
Dude, and I think the
and I fucking hate the Ravens, so I'm gonna throw that out there. But it looked easy. Yeah.
The part of that team that nobody's talking about is their defense, bro. That defense is fucking phenomenal, and that's why I'm going like. And listen, I said last week I was like, I think the Ravens. I think the last 2 weeks I picked the Bills. I picked the Ravens with a caveat where I was like, I don't know. I trust Mahomes and Reed in these games.
Yeah.
And so now with the Super Bowl, it's like the same thing. It's like when you look at the teams separately, you go San Fran should win. But I trust Mahomes.
Yeah, dude. It's funny, man.
And now I say I trust Mahomes and that defense.
Dude, and he's never had a great defense like that, right? So it's like it's scary because he doesn't have to put up 30. He can put up 21 and it's good enough. And again, there's the Ravens bias here because I hate the Ravens, but obviously I've always been and I'm patient enough to sort of wait this out. The thought that like when Lamar Jackson was asking for that historical money, I didn't think you should give it to him. Now, that's not to say, listen, he got it, good for him, happy for him. That's like super meaningful to him and his family. But if you're talking about just football and championships, same way I felt about Dak, it's just the same way I felt about Jalen Hurts. It's like this guy's one-dimensional. Lamar Jackson's one-dimensional. You can't win playoff games playing that style. And yes, the Chiefs' defense is good, but it's also really easy to be good when all you have to do is focus on one thing and just take away the thing they do best, which is Lamar Jackson to take off with the ball. And once you do that and you force them to be a thrower and you force them to play from behind, they can't score. You scored 10 points?
Yeah, but who else besides the Chiefs have been able to do that to them?
I just think when it gets into the playoffs, bro, teams are different. And I think about it. They had to go through a Steelers team that in the playoffs, right? Like they got the bye, and then they played a Steelers team that's like, it wasn't a good Steelers team. It's a playoff Steelers team, but it was good. And then they played the Chiefs, and this didn't look competitive. Like
then they played Houston. Right?
Oh, you're right. They played Houston.
They played Houston.
It's like a Houston team with a rookie quarterback, a rookie coach, it's like it's not competitive. Like I get it, and Stroud is going to be amazing, and the coach to the Houston is going to be amazing, and all that. But when you got down to playing like the cream of the crop in the NFL in the game that mattered, you got pushed around like on offensive ball. Like their defense got pushed around. Their like Mahomes looked like Mahomes that we're used to seeing in that first half, and it's funny the Chiefs got sort of shut down in the second half. They didn't even need to score anymore.
But dude, I think that no one else does that to the Ravens. That's so with the argument against Lamar, no one else does that to the Ravens.
I would argue every team that they've played in the playoffs has done that to them.
What are you talking about,
bro? The Titans did that to them 3 years ago when they got to the playoffs, and they just clobbered them.
What have we done for me lately?
And then what happened? But what happened last year to the Ravens in the playoffs?
Stay in the moment, bro.
No, but it's true. But I'm saying I think when the games matter, this is what you get. When the games matter and the defenses are like, no, we got to step up. Oh, what do you have to take away? Oh, just spy on Lamar Jackson and force him to be a thrower. Like, this is what happens. I think week to week in the NFL.
But then why has nobody done that? Why has no one done that to them throughout the year?
I just think
they destroyed the Niners. Destroyed.
Mm-hmm. But they destroyed the Niners, and you can't take that away. The Ravens were coming off the toughest part of their schedule. And they beat the Niners during a stretch where they beat like the Niners, the Eagles, they beat some really good teams. Bro. For sure. I don't think you do that again in the playoffs in the game that matters where people are healthy. There's something about Lamar Jackson to me is Russell Westbrook. He's going to have the regular season accolades. He's a phenomenal talent. He's a phenomenal player. This is not to say Lamar Jackson is trash. He's going to win you a lot of ball games. He's going to pad the stats. He's going to do this. When you get to the playoffs and, everybody's ass clinches just a little bit tighter and every throw matters just a little bit more and every hole is open for half a second just too short and the defense, the corner has half a second just too slow because the nerves are a little higher.
Right.
I think all that shit just matters, and that is the difference between good and great. And I think that when you get to the playoffs, and that, listen, one day he may cross over to that threshold. I don't think he can do that until he learns how to throw the ball outside the numbers and outside the hash. and he doesn't, and he's not a one-dimensional player.
Dude, and you know what? I've seen him make some good throws this year, and he made that phenomenal play even in this game.
Yeah.
The one where he almost got sacked, and he kind of scrambles out.
He's athletic as hell. Yeah.
But he throws like the 60-yard bomb to was it Flowers?
Yeah, and
Flowers,
his hand
right?
never goes above his shoulder, and somehow it still goes 60 yards. I mean, he's super talented.
No, yeah, but there were a lot of throws where he was missing guys.
Yeah,
and that's when those are the throws where I go like, yo, if that's Mahomes, he's making that throw.
Trent Dilfer makes those throws. You know,
No, he doesn't. Goddamn it.
He does because he's got a Super Bowl.
That's only because of Ray Lewis. He was motivated not to go to jail.
Listen, again, and this is not to take away from Lamar as a talent. I just think, bro, as much as we want to say, the NFL has evolved and, you have to be a mover in the pocket and a rushing quarterback. No. You have to be able to move in the pocket. You don't necessarily have to be able to rush. Like you have to be Patrick Mahomes. You have to extend plays enough so you can still get that ball off.
There's only one of those guys, bro.
And true.
Although
but Josh Allen is
Purdy
another fucking guy. Purdy's another one guy.
Purdy made his debut in as a runner this week,
dude. And if you're and again, this goes back to this is the business guy in me. This goes back to if Purdy wins a Super Bowl, Purdy makes $800K a year.
Yeah.
Lamar makes like 50. The economics speak for themselves. Like and this is where like my beef with when he wanted to be, highest paid NFL player of all time. It's like I don't need that to win a Super Bowl. I can pay Brock Purdy $800,000. I'm gonna get one. Like, granted, that's very lucky in the rest of the nine.
It is
team.
absolutely
like I'm ignoring the rest of that team. But I guess I say that to say like same thing with Dak. It's like I didn't need to pay him $35 million at the time and make him one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah,
dude. If you were building a team today and you got to pick between Dak or Brock Purdy, who are you taking?
Yeah, Purdy.
You're probably taking Purdy. Yeah, it's just like. And this is like my beef with like the sort of emotion behind purchases.
But how do you know until you get the guys in the game?
But you do when they've got Brock Purdy's second year in, right?
Yep.
So by the time Brock Purdy comes around to a contract, we're gonna know whether he's worth $35 million a year or $60. I'm sure it's gonna be the asking price, right? Like 35 is gonna be like the peasant price, and then $60 million is gonna be the, probably the going rate.
And
for
is he
top
worth?
Tier.
And is he worth 60?
If he wins a Super Bowl and he makes it to another one in the next year, you probably got to go, yeah. But because I would say he was the reason for that comeback on Sunday.
Oh my God, that dude played his ass off.
He played his ass off. He looked shaky,
and he began to move.
Yes, he was moving in the pocket. And he was making great throws, and
he's also taking off to run too, which I didn't even know he had wheels like that.
No, and for him it works because you're not expecting it, and so he's getting these 10, 15-yard chunks because you're like, oh shit, I know you could take off, and it's like, whereas I think the difference is like when Lamar Jackson, you just spy him. And yes, easier said than done. Like catching him is easier said than done. But it's like if he gets 200 yards rushing, you'll live with that. If he doesn't hit anybody else in the air, I think, and I think that's the thing is like people get caught up when you read the stat line, the sexiness of but he threw for 210 and he ran for 150. It's like, but he scored 7. So it's like, who cares? It's just we get, and that's the Russell Westbrook thing where they'll be like, he got a triple double, and it's like, yeah, but the team's 20 and 66.
Yeah,
the record's trash. Like, who cares? It's like, I think hopefully it's not that for Lamar because you want to see him get a Super Bowl. I don't want to see the Ravens get a Super Bowl. I'd rather Lamar leave and get it somewhere else. But he's so talented and so fun to watch because it's exciting. It's that Michael Vick excitement.
Yeah, he did the fucking Bugs Bunny play where he threw the ball to himself.
Yep. I just don't think that's sustainable in the NFL. And I think his window of being that athletic is getting smaller.
Oh, dude, people are catching him.
They're catching. Yeah, linebackers are catching up to him,
right.
Which goes, he's not getting faster.
Yeah.
So next year he's going to be a step slower. And then he's going to, he's aging and he's injury prone. Like he made it this year, which is awesome to see that he sort of made it through the season.
Yep.
But like that stuff's all going to catch up to him because of his playing style. That window is going to get smaller and smaller. And then it's like, okay, then he ends up, again, he's Russell Westbrook is the best thing I can come up with. Yeah.
Well, kudos to the Chiefs defense though, man, because I was like with the Ravens having Justin Tucker as their kicker, I was like, just get to the 40 and kick a fucking field goal. You could do that shit 5 times and win the game.
You should be able to.
And they weren't able to, bro. They weren't able to get there, and
every single time you possess the ball, you should be able to get to the 40 and kick.
You would hope, but I mean, dude, as a number 1 seed, yeah. Like you absolutely should.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, you also should have kicked the field goal. Fucking Lions. Bro. Like, dude, I love Dan Campbell, bro. Dude, even after this weekend.
That needs a wheelbarrow to carry his balls around, bro.
Bro, even after this weekend, bro, I'm like, he did exactly what we all expected him to do. But when I'm watching the game, and I'm not a Lions fan, I'm not a Niners fan, I'm watching the game, when they were up big, I go, bro, you're in field goal range. Just kick. Like now just pad your lead.
Yeah, make it a 4-score game.
Yeah, bro. Like I was just like, yo, you've already got the big lead. Now just, if you don't have to go for it on 4th and 3. Although in the regular season they were like 80% on 4th and 3 or less.
I think that's what I respected about him is like, we talked about earlier about your ass just gets a little bit tighter in the playoffs. He stayed true to who he was during the regular season and playoffs. And I go, yo, you live by the sword, you die by the sword.
Yeah, so you got to respect that.
Yeah, so I have to respect that. But to your point, it's like if you kick one more field goal, you win that game. Or,
or you make it tough because remember there were two chances that he could have just kicked 2 field goals, and then that forces it's a different game, bro.
Yeah.
So hey, and the other thing I thought about him was afterwards they interviewed him, and he was very true to like, yo, this is possibly our only time to get here, and I have to make the guys understand that if you want to get back here next year, it's gonna be twice as hard.
Yeah, he's not wrong, bro. And I'm glad he owned that because it was like, how many teams or players have we heard we're just calling Patrick Mahomes, potentially in the conversation for the GOAT. I remember people having that conversation like 2 years in with him.
Yep.
And it's like, that seems premature. You get a lot of those guys who have 1 or 2 great seasons. What makes you great is, that sustaining that level of greatness for over a prolonged period of time. He's absolutely right. This might have been the 1 year, the fluke, the lucky, the Seattle Seahawks with Hasselbeck and Marshawn Lynch and whatever, where they had that one run.
Forgot about that.
Like shit like that, where you're like, yo, you had to, the Chicago Bears, man, not to pick on your team, but it's like Chicago Bears with Rex Shackman and Urlacher, and it's like you
Grossman
think. Oh yeah, with Grossman. Sorry, yeah.
Who is Rex Chapman?
Basketball player.
I'm like that name sounds familiar. I don't know why the fuck I know that name.
Players. I'm just like, how many dudes named Rex? But they're like, I think just because you're good now doesn't guarantee you to be good next year. It also doesn't guarantee that the teams around you aren't better.
Right.
So I think it was good for him to go like not sugarcoat that and go, yo, this might have been your only shot. Yeah, I think it's a very real conversation, and it's also very, I think, inspiring, motivational to a group of men going into the next season to not sort of take this one for granted.
Right.
Like the impossibility of what they had pulled off, especially for Detroit, and to try to repeat on something like that or grow from something like that. Man. Yeah, I think that's the only way you do it is if you make them feel like it's impossible to do again.
Yeah.
You need that. You do. We all need, like even Michael Jordan, right? Used to create those fake beefs in his head just to sort of get amped up because he just, I think he just needed that to find motivation because he just wasn't, he's so good. And it's so hard to get inspired when you're that good and you have these titles. You sort of start making fake scenarios of beef in your head.
Yeah, dude. No, that's true.
So you got to do it, man.
All right, man. Let's pick them. Who you got? Super Bowl. Super Bowl. What is this? 50 what?
Oh, fuck. 55?
Is it?
I don't know, man.
It doesn't
I don't
matter.
know shit. Yeah.
Who you got?
I think going back to what you were saying earlier, it's really hard for me to pick against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I think you go coaching, Andy Reid. Quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. So I got to go Chiefs, man.
And that defense. And again, on paper, Niners look really good. And for some family that I have, man, I'm pulling for them.
For the Niners?
Yeah. But man, I can't go against Patrick Mahomes anymore, man. That's it.
You know what's happened to me? The Niners have become the Bills of the early 90s to me. Yes, they haven't gotten to those Super Bowls in a row, but they've just sort of like underachieved.
They've been right there, right?
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, they've had some bad luck like last year with the quarterback and all that. But at this point, I'm like tired of going like, I hope they get over the hump. And now I'm just like, man, fuck it, you guys are gonna lose because I picked the Lions to win that game. I thought the Lions would win. And it was funny.
And they really should have.
Well, yeah, but you know what happened is they were up big in that first half, and I remember telling my brother, like, man, they've played like shit all playoffs in the second half. And it's exactly
And
what they
they said
did.
that's
And
what
they
they
did. It's like they haven't made me comfortable in the second half. There's something, and I think maybe there's something for Dan Campbell to go back and look at, is there's something about the adjustments that team make against them, and they never sort of quite, I guess, adjust to that.
Yep.
In the playoffs that happened that I think, maybe they'll learn from that next year. But I did pick the Lions. I felt like the Lions matched up well against them. And I felt like,
and they did, bro.
And yeah, and I think the emotion of the story sort of got to me too, of which was like, seeing the Lions here the first time. And I was like sort of sick of seeing the Niners underachieve. And I'm like, I don't want to see the Niners lose to whoever they play next. Let's get the Lions in there, at least make it entertaining. Even if the Lions lose in the Super Bowl, it's a phenomenal story for that city.
Dude, could you imagine the Lions and Ravens in the Super Bowl?
I think Roger Goodell will kill himself.
That fucking, not only for the ratings, man, the fucking, like those two cities.
Oh my God.
Could you think of those two cities showing up in Vegas?
Oh, it'd be the Perch.
For those of you who have not been to Detroit and Baltimore, you don't know what we're talking about. Yeah. But those of you who have know exactly what the fuck we're talking about.
If you ever been to any of those cities, you're like, yep, spot on. That shit would be pretty wild, bro.
Goodell was like, no, they are not allowed to win.
Prostitution's legal and gambling? Absolutely not. He's like, what's Taylor Swift doing these days? Oh my God, bro. Yeah, fuck, man. That
Dude, they talk about something with her, right? With her effect on the NFLs.
But it is estimated that I want to get the number because I want to get it right. But it is estimated that she's generated 300. I want to get the right number here. It is estimated that by attending games, she generated $331.5 million for the Chiefs.
How, Sway?
And the sort of the NFL through media by her attending games.
How?
I actually think it makes perfectly good sense, bro. You think about the women that follow Taylor Swift, who follow her, who are very passionate about that, right? And now they're tuning in to watch the games, which means that's an extra viewer, which means when the contract comes up for the advertisement, you could charge more money because now you had more viewers on there. But then now she's selling a jersey because the women who don't watch sports are going to buy a Travis Kelce jersey because Taylor Swift has one. And then, it's like this effect of, what about the people who don't give a fuck about football, but they're like, oh, Taylor Swift's at the game today, and they'll tune in. And like, I can absolutely see that number, and I feel like it might be on the low side. She has become so fucking famous at this point. It's, people are making fun of the fact that the camera cuts to her. Every time Travis Kelce caught a ball, I'm like, cut to Taylor, and then they would do it. I was like, let's fuck with the TV. But then someone counted the amount of time that she was actually on screen. It was like 25 seconds out of, 100
like a 3-hour
97
game.
minutes or whatever it is. It's like, it's not very much as it seems like it. And also, we tend to show celebrities at games, all of them, right? Like, remember Jack Nicholson sitting courtside, or Spike Lee, or like, it's just become part of the sports culture.
Yep.
And we only give a fuck because she's a woman. I think that's why it's become a big deal, and she's a pop star. And I think men are kind of like in this weird, like, oh, it's girly or whatever it is.
Right.
But she's so big to her audience that she's just, I think the 331 or whatever, that shit makes sense, and I feel like it would be even bigger because I could see her.
I wonder how do they base that, right? Because when you talk about viewers, like remember if you're at home with rabbit ears on your TV, like you can still get the games.
Sure, I think you're comparing either same time last year or you're comparing same, like,
you can do jerseys. You can do jersey sales.
You can easily go weeks to where she started appearing versus the weeks where she wasn't there. I mean, it's probably that simple.
But do you think it's ticket sales? Because
I think it's everything. It's her attending the game, and then you go, what's the viewership after she started attending games, and then how the jersey sales get affected by that. More importantly, how many Kelce jerseys got sold, and it's already been proven that he has sold significantly more jerseys.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And those are women who don't even know what football is. They think it's soccer, and they're just buying a jersey because whatever Taylor Swift is wearing it. And so, like, the 331 sounds legit to me, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was way more.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. You talking about the most famous person on the planet today? Like Taylor Swift might be more famous than the president of the United States right now. That's fucking crazy to say out loud, bro. But if both of them were walking through the mall, who are you stopping first?
Sleepy Joe.
You stopping Sleepy Joe, bro?
Yeah.
He wouldn't even remember you.
I got a question.
You'd be like, can we take a picture? Now motherfucker just be like, now?
Did you bring the blow with you?
It's like, no, I left it at home.
Dude, let's switch gears here, man. Tell me about the WWE. What's going on with WWE?
Bro, so you ever watch Monday Night Raw and stuff as a kid?
Yeah.
So WWE just signed a deal with Netflix to do Monday Night Raw starting next year, I think.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So isn't Raw on like, I don't know, like TNT or fucking
one of the not TNT, because TNT or TBS has that AEW. So Monday Night Raw.
Oh, that's right.
It used to be on USA. I don't know if it's still on USA. It used to be on USA.
Okay.
And that was like the big show on USA.
Yep.
And it's huge. It's a crazy rating. And I don't know if they still do the numbers that they used to do, but I think for Netflix to get a live weekly wrestling event,
I was just gonna say, man, like, but the whole premise behind Netflix is you're gonna watch when you want.
I think Netflix is starting to shift away from that a little bit. If you notice,
so will they? So will it be on Monday Night Raw 8 o'clock?
It would have to be, and then they would repeat it. Probably, I'm sure you can just watch it streamed again. Yeah. But I'm sure that they'll do a live like cast, and then you could just watch it after that if you want to. But I think that's where I think Netflix is going to go to that, and also they're going to go to the. I don't know if you've noticed, there's shows now that they release episodes only a little bit at a time, not the whole thing, like week to
episodes
week.
Of what?
Episodes of TV shows. Or
I haven't seen that.
I think what they're realizing is like by sort of feeding us too much of that content at first, it makes you, and again, this is the business side of me, is like if me giving you all of a show on a Friday night and Thursday, and now by Sunday you've watched the entire season, now there's still a whole year cycle before I drop the new one, or maybe I have to record the new one quicker, which means I'm spending more money quicker. Whereas if I spread it out over 20 weeks or 10 weeks or 15 weeks, you sort of give more life to this product that you've created.
Absolutely.
So I wonder if we're going to go back to that. You create this atmosphere and this desire and this sense of urgency behind a TV show, and then you air it all the time, because the binge watching culture has sort of spoiled us. And so you need to go back to making us sort of care and make appointment watching, sort of like what Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad was. Like those are the very few shows where there was like viewing parties where you would hang out with your friends and throw a barbecue all Sunday and be like, oh, we're watching Game of Thrones together at the end of this. Like there's very few appointment watching things now. And I think the streaming culture and the binge watching culture changed that. But I think they have to make us shift at least a little bit back to the old way, just from a business perspective, to sort of get the most juice out of these.
So when is that starting?
Next year. Yeah, so
like 2025?
Yeah, so 2024 it's still on whatever it's on now. I don't even want to get it wrong.
I want to say USA sounds right.
I know it used to be there. I just don't know if they changed it. Yeah.
But did you also see Vince McMahon? Freaking, he got accused again. I feel like we did this already.
We did, but he's resigned like 3 times this year. So we could have done the exact same.
So he was another woman that accused him of like almost like whoring her out.
Yeah, it's trafficking her, right?
Trafficking, yeah, whatever the terminology is.
Not really sure how
you
do that, but I almost
no. But he was saying like essentially he would have people come over, other wrestlers, and essentially like make her have sex with them. Which I always go, can you just quit? Like, can you just not come to work anymore?
Yeah, like I'm tired. I don't feel like clocking in today. I'm sore.
I've always thought about, like when that stuff happens, when you go like, okay, well, you're an employee, so you come to work. If something happens to you, you don't have to come to work anymore. You could just stop coming to work and then press charges. Like the first time, not the fucking 20th time.
It depends where you work and how much money you need. And
I would say I guess, but no, bro. I don't. I'm like, dude.
I thought it was a character. I thought it was like their WWE's version of like an Epstein. You know how they always create these like over the top characters?
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck, Vince is really leaning into this like bad guy thing. but turns out they were right. And then he resigned again, which is like the third time this year that he's resigned.
And isn't he in his 70s now?
Yeah, fuck, man, yeah.
Right? I'm pretty sure
he has
he's
to be late 70s, I would think, right?
Oh, yeah? I'm going to look that up.
Look him up, man. Vince is old, bro, but he keeps himself in phenomenal shape. Like, he's still Diesel. What trips me out about somebody like him doing this to women is like, I mean, it's gross, it's disgusting, but also, what are you getting out of it? You're Vince McMahon. Like, I'm pretty sure you don't have any trouble picking up women.
Yeah, no, I don't.
It just seems weird to me.
And again, it's allegations. We don't know if it's true, but that's what he's being accused of. But to go back to this Netflix deal, bro, one of the things that I was curious about was I've been seeing. So CBS owns Paramount.
Yeah.
And they've been streaming NFL games on Paramount. As a matter of fact, one of the playoff games was only shown on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, the first week, right?
I think it was the Bills game.
Yep. Yeah, and it was a big game. Yeah.
Right. And I'm wondering, is this the future? Is the future going to these platforms and taking it away from the Fox, CBS, NBC, ABC,
the legacy media companies,
the rabbit ear channels, that you can still get, without having cable.
Yeah, the answer is yeah. We're all moving to streaming or some form thereof, or an app, or like YouTube already has Sunday Ticket. Paramount's gonna get a game. I think before you know it, it's all gonna be over.
I get the Sunday Ticket.
Sorry, through some streaming.
I get the Sunday Ticket, man, but I've always felt like the regular season games will always be on local channels.
I don't disagree, but I also think our perception or our view of a local channel is very different than because that can also be the case on streaming. You could have a local channel, YouTube, TV, whatever, where you only get it. I think it's just something that we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
And I think it's just changing and evolving.
Dude, I think it feels to me this is like very Generation Z, generation, what is it? Is it now A, Generation Alpha, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like our kids growing up, everything is on demand.
Yep.
Right? Everything is like my kids, dude, when we have the TV, it's so funny, bro. When we're at home, the TV is on. It's usually my wife and I will be watching it. And if we get up to go do something, we'll turn to the kids who are on the couch with their phones or tablets or whatever, and we'll go, hey guys, like, do you want me to leave the TV on? The answer is never yes. Or
they're just like, man.
Or my youngest will go, oh yeah, give me the control, and he immediately take it off a Spectrum or whatever, watching it, and he goes to YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Yeah, kids. My kids
wonder,
watch YouTube all day. Or
I wonder if that's it, man. If they're seeing like that trend and then going, hey, we need to start transitioning into this because this is where the future generations are.
Well, that's absolutely the case, because if you think about, even if you keep the legacy media companies around, right, CBS and Fox and whatever, in terms of like local channels, they're still going to go through a streaming service.
Yep.
Because I think the technology that we buy is that. The convenience that we have today is that there's just no way around that, and so I think it all moves to streaming in some capacity. Like, and frankly, they're getting so good at it. I remember when you used to do stuff like this, and it would lag, and it would, there would be a really poor quality.
Yeah, but it's
and all
good
that.
now, bro.
YouTube TV shocked me at how good the Sunday Ticket was this year, and it was better than DirecTV streaming, who had been around for a decade plus, whatever. YouTube TV is and I know they stream on YouTube, obviously, and they're used to handling sort of billions of views a day, so I didn't doubt that they could handle it. But for it to go as smooth as it did, the Sunday Ticket, on a week-to-week basis, I was really impressed with how they pulled that off.
Oh, wow.
And it looked better. It was a better product. Even the picture-in-picture stuff looked better. Like, everything about it, I was a little skeptical on, because I was, it's like Sunday Ticket, fuck, I don't want to miss this. And it's the first time these guys have it. Flawless. They execute on it amazingly. And I think that's the future of just content. It's going to be that, man. Like you said, my kids don't watch anything on regular TV, and if they see a commercial, they completely check out. So, yeah, I think that's just where we're going, man.
All right, man. What you want to get into? I know we're already almost at a fucking hour.
We're right at an hour.
Fuck.
This went by quick, man.
Went by really quick. All right, what do you want to end with, bro?
All right. Do you want to talk about the 15% of men, or you want to talk about a horse and buggy?
Let me. I'm actually, you know what? I spent time with at least some Amish people.
Yeah.
Let's talk about them.
Yeah, man. Some Amish folks went to Walmart in their local Amish community.
Yeah.
Or not too far.
Do you know where it was?
Ooh, I do. I think I have the story up. Let me tell you right now.
Might be my people.
My homies went. Oh, in Michigan, in Sturgis, Michigan, Amish families,
Not
horse and
my
buggy.
people.
It's not your people. They horse and buggy. They went to Walmart and they parked their horse and buggy in the designated spot, and the horse and buggy went missing. Someone evidently committed I don't know what you call that, a horse jacking. Buggy jacking. I don't know what you call that, bro. It sounds weird.
Horse jacking. That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, and then authorities later that evening, they located a stolen horse and buggy and arrested someone for it. But yeah, they just stole their shit and took off with it.
Dude, it has to be another Amish person, right?
Who knows how to control a horse?
I'm gonna tell you right now. I have, and I know I've told you this off air. I have one experience with a fucking horse, bro. Let me tell you, we're gonna go. Family's gonna go on vacation sometime this year, and where we're going, there was one of the excursions is like fucking riding a horse on the beach. Yeah. I immediately said, I'm out. Give me a 4-wheeler or something, man. I'll ride that shit. I'm not fucking riding a horse, bro.
I immediately said I'm out.
Dude, horses got their own minds, bro. That's an animal.
I love horses, man.
And yes, there are people that can control them. I am not one of those people. My experience with a horse was got on it, tried to control it. It basically said, this motherfucker doesn't know what he was doing. Fuck him.
They're like dogs, bro. You got to assert your dominance.
Okay. Well, I was not doing a good job of that. So this motherfucker was just like, I'm going to go back in the stable. Right? So he goes, but I am, so like I'm obviously sitting on top of the horse.
I would hope so.
The stable fucking, I guess the entrance.
Yeah. The barn doors
was low enough, for him to kind of duck his head and put it and go in.
Yeah. Oh, but you're going right into that bitch?
I'm going right into the wall. And it was like a concrete wall. Dude, I remember approaching it going like, whoa, whoa. And I'm fucking like saying all the signs. I'm pulling back on the fucking reins. And this dude was like, fuck this guy. I'm going to go get some water.
Kept going?
He kept going. Luckily, the guy that owned the horse stopped him. But he stopped him literally like, I don't know, man, like a foot to spare. Where I was like, yo, I could have got really fucking hurt. And I don't know how old I was. I was probably like, I don't know, 12, 13 years old.
Yeah, you'd have got over it.
Nah, dude. After I got ripped in half. Nah, bro.
You think you would have got ripped in half?
I don't know, bro. I know I was kind of strapped in, bro. I don't know. I don't remember how I was strapped in. I just know that in my head, I was gonna get ripped in half.
Bro, what happened to Sean's torso? They're like, we don't know. Screaming at the horse, and then.
And this is a family of the guy that took me hunting and left me out there with the bear.
Bro, these people are trying to turn you into a man by any means necessary.
Thank you, King family.
It worked.
I love it. It worked. God damn it.
I tell people shit all the time. I was like, yo, Sean will look you dead in the eyes and be like, I only need one shot in 100 yards.
One shot, one kill.
One shot, one kill. But really? He's so quiet. I'm like, that's what he be saying. I'm just telling you. I don't know shit about fuck, but he said.
So no, man, I am not stealing a fucking horse. If I see a horse, I'm leaving that bitch right where he's at.
I could do it. I know how to ride horses pretty good.
Good for you, bro.
I love horses though. But I have had some wild experience. I've been knocked out. I've been kicked. I've been dropped. Yeah. But
you been kicked by a horse, bro?
Yeah, that shit hurts a little. my family in PR has horses, and they would treat that shit like a regular mode of transportation. So like, the way these guys went to Walmart in their horse, like my family would do that shit to go visit each other, or go to the store, or go drink, or
and then they just go like tie it up.
The way they looked at it was like, the way my family looked at it was like, oh, it's better than the DUI. They'd be riding a wild ass horse that would try to buck them off the whole time, bro. I'm pretty sure this is worse than a DUI, but all right.
But the horse knew his way back home.
Yeah, that's literally what would happen. Bro, I guarantee you somebody in my family has a story about them passed out on top of the horse is getting them home. Guarantee. Shit is ratchet. When I used to visit them in PR, bro, I would take the horse and I would ride. And my grandmother lived in this, it was like a beach town, but she had this, like, all this property, and there was like a valley in between all these other properties. And on the other side of the valley, one of my great uncles lived there, and he was the one with horses. Yeah. And we would ride through this valley and his horses. Wow, it was fucking great. It was phenomenal. But the amount of times I was knocked down or kicked off a horse, or a horse just lost his shit bucking, and if you don't dodge that shit, you're losing all of your facial bones. Like, it was just insane. But it was a good time. It was a good time.
That shit sounds horrible, bro.
No, it's fun because I didn't have anything catastrophic happen to where I had to, like, I guess, avoid people. But I have seen people get dropped and, like, you know, their whole nose gets broken.
Yeah, I'm out, bro.
Oh, yeah,
I'm out.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Listen, put me on a 4-wheeler, I'm good to go.
This is sort of like a 4-wheeler. You got to feed it.
It's a 4-legger.
It's close. It's still fun.
Yo, and on that, tell them where they can find us.
At the Common Football Podcast on IG, the Common Football Podcast on Facebook and YouTube, at Carbon FP Pod on TikTok and X, and then all your favorite audio platforms, Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, GeoSavvy Ghana, all of it. We're on there. Pocket Cast, Podchaser is shutting down soon if it hasn't already. So yeah, make the switches. Follow us. Radio FM on there as well. So
shit,
add that one to the mix.
Hadn't I heard of that one?
Yeah, I think we've been on there for a while. But I'll be forgetting the thing.
Yo, and as always, we appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Peace.
Peace.